Something inside you is breaking, and no one around you can see it. You are surrounded by familiar faces, yet it feels like you no longer belong in your own life. And the scariest part is, you cannot explain this feeling to anyone without sounding crazy. You try to laugh with them. You try to stay normal. You try to be who you used to be. But every word feels forced. Every reaction feels rehearsed. Like you are performing a version of yourself. Deep down, that version of you is slowly dying. At night, when everything goes quiet, the truth becomes impossible to escape. Your mind starts replaying everything, every conversation, every moment that now feels empty. And you realize the connection you once felt is no longer there. This is not just growth. This is separation happening in real time. You are evolving into someone new while everything around you stays the same. And that gap, it is getting wider every single day. You start seeing through people, their words, their energy, their hidden intentions. Things you once ignored now stand out so clearly that you cannot look away. And it hurts. Because awareness comes with a price. You will want to go back to when things felt simple and real. But once your soul wakes up, it refuses to go back to sleep again. And that is when you realize you are about to outgrow everyone around you. This is the moment your old life starts losing its grip on you. Even if nothing around you has physically changed. You wake up one day and realize you cannot think the same, feel the same, or pretend the same anymore. It is like your soul has outgrown a reality that your body is still stuck inside. You start hearing things differently, noticing what people say beneath their words. The jokes feel empty, the energy feels off, and the connection you once felt begins to disappear. And no matter how hard you try, you cannot force yourself to feel something that is no longer real. This is where the shift becomes painful, because awareness changes everything. You begin to see patterns, repeated behaviors, and limitations that you were once blind to. And now that you see it clearly, you cannot go back to pretending it is not there. You will try to hold on, not because it feels right, but because it feels familiar. You will stay in conversations longer than you should, in places that drain you, around people who no longer understand you. But every second you stay, it feels like you are slowly disconnecting from yourself. And then comes the realization that changes everything. You are not meant to stay where you are tolerated. You are meant to grow into where you are aligned. And that truth will start pulling you away from everything that once felt like home. This is not loneliness. This is transformation at a level most people never reach. You are shading identities, attachments, and environments that can no longer hold your growth. And whether they understand it or not, you are already stepping into a version of life they cannot follow. The hardest part is not changing. It is realizing how alone that change can feel. Because while you are evolving internally, everyone around you still expects the same version of you. They speak to you the same way, treat you the same way. Not knowing that person no longer exists, you start feeling disconnected in places where you once felt understood. Even in a room full of people, there is this quiet distance that no one else seems to notice. And it hits you. You are no longer where you used to belong. This is where the pain deepens. Because you still care about these people. You still remember the memories, the laughter, the moments that once felt real. But now, those same moments feel like echoes of a life you have already outgrown. You will question yourself again, wondering if you are becoming too distant or too different. A part of you will want to shrink, to adjust, to stay just to keep the connection alive. But every time you do, it feels like you are abandoning your own growth. And then you begin to notice something even deeper. The conversations no longer challenge you. The energy no longer feeds you. The connection no longer grows you. It feels stagnant, like you are standing still while something inside you is pushing forward. This is the silent truth most people avoid. Not everyone is meant to come with you to the next level of your life. And accepting that will break your heart. But it will also set you free. At some point, you stop trying to explain yourself to people who were never meant to understand your depth. You realize that no matter how clearly you speak, they will only hear what fits their level of perception. And slowly, you begin to accept a painful truth. Not everyone is capable of seeing who you are becoming. This is where silence becomes your new language. You stop oversharing, stop seeking validation, and start observing everything from a distance. Because you finally understand that growth speaks quietly, not loudly. And in that silence, you start meeting yourself again. Not the version shaped by approval, not the version built for acceptance, but the real one underneath it. And that meeting feels both beautiful and terrifying at the same time. You begin to notice your tolerance for negativity fading away. Things you once ignored now feel unbearable, and environments you once stayed in feel too heavy. It is not that the world changed. It is that you did. And this is where isolation becomes your teacher, not your punishment. In the absence of noise, you start hearing your own thoughts clearly for the first time. And what you hear is a version of yourself asking for more than what you settled for, because deep down, you already know the truth you have been avoiding. You are not becoming distant. You are becoming aligned with something greater. And that alignment will cost you comfort before it gives you clarity. There comes a moment in your journey when everything familiar starts feeling like a limitation. Not because it changed, but because you changed, and your awareness no longer fits inside old spaces. And this is where the real discomfort begins. Because growth always starts by making you question everything you once trusted. You will start noticing how certain people drain your energy just by being around you. Not because they are bad, but because they are still operating on a frequency you have already outgrown. And the hardest part is realizing that love, loyalty, and connection do not always evolve at the same speed. You will feel moments of guilt for pulling away, for needing space, for wanting something more. But deep down, you will also feel something stronger. The pull toward your own expansion. And that pull will start becoming louder than your fear of losing people. This is where discipline replaces comfort, and awareness replaces attachment. You stop reacting emotionally to everything and start observing life from a higher perspective. And slowly, you begin to understand that not everything deserves your energy anymore. But the real shift happens when you stop waiting for people to catch up to you. Because you finally accept that your path was never meant to be a group journey. Some people were meant to witness your growth, not walk it with you. And in that acceptance, something inside you becomes unshakable. You are no longer confused about losing people, because you understand you are gaining yourself. And that realization changes everything about how you move forward from here. And now you are standing at the edge of something you cannot fully explain yet. The old version of your life feels far behind you, like a memory that no longer fits who you are becoming. And even though it feels uncertain, deep down you know, you are not going back. This is the part where most people would turn around. But you cannot. Because something inside you has already crossed a line that cannot be reversed. And that line was not in the world. It was inside your mind. you will still feel the weight of what you are leaving behind. The memories, the faces, the versions of yourself that once felt safe. But you will also feel something stronger. The pull of who you are becoming. And this is where clarity finally replaces confusion. You realize you were never losing people. You were losing alignment with your old life. And that loss was necessary for your evolution. Now everything makes sense in a way it never did before. The distance, the silence, the discomfort. It was all guiding you somewhere higher. And what felt like an ending was actually your beginning. So if you're feeling this right now, do not resist it. Because you are not breaking down. You are breaking through everything that was never meant for you. And that is why you are about to outgrow everyone around you.